Coming up on today's show, we got a new free agent target for the Browns on the defensive line. It's not Daron Payne, it's not Javon Hargrave, so we'll check that out from USA Today. Plus, a potential target for the Browns in free agency might be off the market. Before we even get into the big dance, sort of, we'll look at that rumor. And then also a little bit of news for you guys here as a certain Browns coach is leaving for the Chargers. So we've got that coming up, but first thing first, clap it up for our man, Joe Thomas, baby, getting elected into the Pro Football Hall of Fame yesterday, announced during the NFL Honors Ceremony. So shout out to Joe. He was born to be a Hall of Famer. The moment the Browns took him out of Wisconsin, 3rd overall, you knew he was destined for greatness. For a long time, there was not a lot of good football by the lake, but Joe Thomas was the constant. He was the defender, and he was the guy who was meeting quarterbacks in the huddle, but keeping them upright. So for Joe Thomas, can we pick up 73 new subscribers in honor of him going to Canton? And hey, we might have a bonus preseason game. Early reports are that the Browns and Jets, with Darrelle Revis going to the Hall of Fame, might be your Hall of Fame game. So the Brownies looking for 4 preseason games, baby. I'll take more football, even if that comes at a price as once it arrives, I realize this is not what I signed up for. I want the actual starters, please. And this is just the worst case of blue balls ever. Now, let's jump into some free agent targets here. As Greg Gaines was USA Today's selection for the Cleveland Browns as a potential free agent acquisition as they combed through all 32 NFL teams and picked free agents for every spot. Now, the former 4th-round pick for the Rams out of Washington has been a starter on and off, mostly on though, for the last 2 seasons. And of course, when you play next to Aaron Donald, you kind of get overshadowed a little bit. But he's been good. He's been solid. He's not going to cost you a ton in free agency, so this would be a lower budget signing. And I'm sure Andrew Berry's watching this right now, and he's grinning ear to ear because it's kind of just another Taven Bryan, Malik McDowell, Jackson sort of lower move that's not going to break the bank. Now, Greg Gaines' stats look like this. This past season for the Rams, he posted 4 sacks, 6 tackles for loss, and 36 tackles. You see from his rookie season to this past season, he has been steadily improving. Now, to go to the horse's mouth, which is the Browns Wire from USA Today Sports, which, to be honest with you guys, I'm not crazy about their sports coverage, but it is the offseason, so we'll talk about every little free agent nugget out there. Here's what Cory Kinnan said. Rams defensive tackle Greg Gaines is a substantial anchor against the run and has even shown the prowess to create consistent pressure. He would be just a stepping stone to rebuilding their defensive front, but a big one at that. I don't think it'd be that big of a stone, right? Unless it's actually the size of him, I'm not really buying in on that. Now, it is a good reminder, though. We do have to be prepared for a plan C or D if there is no Daron Payne or Javon Hargrave coming to Cleveland. Every team wants Daron Payne, and the Commanders may very well put the franchise tag on him. So before we just start assuming Daron Payne's going to be in Cleveland next year, let's go through some backup options. Because what if the Eagles, I don't know if winning or losing the Super Bowl would make it more likely for Hargrave to come back, but if either of those outcomes happen and they want to bring him back, well, then you start looking around the free agent market saying the top 2 dogs, they're off the street. We got to look at some of the lower level, the Maxions, if you will, of free agency. Now, Greg Gaines PFF grades in 2022, here's how they look. Overall, 59.1. Ranked 71st out of 127 qualifying players. That was just behind Taven Bryan. So if we're looking to improve just by PFF's metrics, Greg Gaines, technically not. His run defense, 57. His pass rush, 59. He's not my top guy, right? He's not even my top backup choice behind Daron Payne or Javon Hargrave. I'd rather go with a Shy Tuttle, a Tier Tart. I think there's some other cheaper, lower-level options I would go over than Greg Gaines, mostly because he's an okay pass rusher. 4 sacks, that's not too shabby, but he's not a great run stopper. And what was this team's biggest Achilles heel last year? Stopping the run. It single-handedly cost them games against Atlanta and the Chargers. So if he can't offer extreme pass rush upside like Daron Payne double-digit sacks, and his run stopping is slowing him down a little bit, for that reason, I might be out. Now, I do want to quickly tell you guys about today's sponsor, which is Athletic Greens. So, today's Cleveland Browns report is sponsored by Athletic Greens, and I take AG1 by Athletic Greens every day because you can get comprehensive and convenient daily nutrition when you go to athleticgreens.com/chatsports. I personally gave AG1 a try because I just don't like taking pills or vitamins each morning, and I wanted a supplement that actually tastes good. I take AG1 in the morning, and it makes me feel ready to take on my day. It also helps with getting me into a good pattern and getting the day off on the right foot and into a healthier lifestyle. I start the day with making one great choice, AG1, and more healthy decisions then follow. Also, covering my nutritional basis for the day literally couldn't be easier, which is why I trust Athletic Greens. All I do is just mix one small scoop of AG1 with water, drink it first thing each morning, and it's done. I also like that it costs less than $3 a day, which is pretty good if you ask me. It's a really effective daily habit with the highest quality sourced ingredients, so win-win. If a comprehensive solution is what you need from your supplement routine, then Athletic Greens is giving you a free 1-year supply of vitamin D and 5 free travel packs with your first purchase. Go to athleticgreens.com/chatsports. That's athleticgreens.com/chatsports. I've got that link for everyone in the comments and the description of today's show. Let's get back on track, though, and talk more free agency buzz because it's just over a month away at this point, and so we got to kind of see what's going on out there. Now, a free agent target that might be off the market, this is very premature for me to say, but Draymond Jones, the former Ohio State Buckeye from the Cleveland greater area, well, he tweeted out, Denver Bronco fam, I love the love and critiques that I've been getting these past few days. It keeps me humble, LOL. I want to be a Bronco for as long as possible. My social medias are for entertainment. There are no cryptic messages behind what I do on my socials. Hope this helps. So the background or the context behind this, in case you don't know, is when Sean Payton got hired as the Broncos head coach, there was this tweet out there of Payton and Russell Wilson. This is a while ago, by the way, and the caption was basically like, hey, are we bringing back Broncos country? Let's ride. Is that cool again? And Derek Wolfe, who's kind of a Broncos legend, used to play for the team, replied to that tweet with this. Never was, never will be cool. And you can see Draymond Jones liked it. Welcome to 2023 sports media, because we are going down rabbit holes of what players like on social media and then running a mile with it, which is sort of a penalty on us here, the Big J's, even though I do not consider myself a blue check mark. So if there is no Draymond Jones, right, if he does strike a deal to stay in Denver and he's not looking to come back to Cleveland or whatever, who is your top free agent target? We're going to keep asking these questions throughout the offseason because I want to see what new names we can potentially get in the comments section, and I'll go check those guys out and do a deeper dive on them. So let me know who your top free agent target is down below. Some news to get to. How about that? We got some news to get to. Jake Trotter from ESPN tweeted out that the Chargers hiring Jeff Howard to coach linebackers per source. Former Browns DB assistant also had an offer from Carolina. Now, when it comes to news like this, one, I'm all in on Jim Schwartz, right? I trust him completely. And so if this means Jim Schwartz gets to make another hire and gets to bring another guy to Breer that's under his domain, I'm in. Sign me up, because it's not like anyone from this defensive coaching staff from last year showed a whole lot to prove that they should come back this season anyway. So no spoiled milk over here about losing Jeff Howard. Happy trails, Jeff. But no, I'm not going to cry about losing Howard when I don't think any defensive coach really had a lot to stand on following this past season. Now, some other interesting news to get to here. So Ian Rappaport tweeted this out. The Texans are expected to hire Arizona Cardinals defensive line coach Matt Burke as their new defensive coordinator. Why is this news for Cleveland? Well, you can maybe go back a little bit in time. That name might sound familiar. because Albert Breer quote tweeted that tweet and said this: the Cardinals had blocked Matt Burke from interviewing for the Browns defensive line job. Jim Schwartz wanted the well-respected lieutenant there, but they couldn't stop him from taking a coordinator job. So we were all sort of wondering, is Jim Schwartz or Kevin Stefanski going to start building this defensive coaching staff? And looks to be like it's going to be more Schwartz than Stefanski. This is just one instance, so it's hard to say definitively. It's probably not black and white. It's probably a collective effort between Stefanski, Barry, and Schwartz. But we do have this little inkling right here that Schwartz wanted to bring him on, so we've got that to work with. All right, before we get on out of here, I'm starting this new tradition. We're going to keep building it throughout the offseason. It's one of my favorite things, just football guys here, right? Naming a random Browns player, and then I go down to the comment section. I pick whichever one maybe my favorite, whichever one I never even heard of potentially, or just a good reminder of like, oh yeah, he was on the Browns. So today's random Browns player comes from the Zoinks, Shaggy, saying running back Herman Fontenot, who played with the Browns from 1985 to 1988. He was the second or third string running back then. Hand up, hadn't heard of him. But now I know Herman. So Fontenot, if you're watching right now, hop on the show. We got to get you on the pod. But that is our random brownie for today. I appreciate all of you guys who took time, made us a part of your day. Enjoy the rest of your weekend. We'll catch up later with more Browns news and rumors.